Awesome. It's all good in the sisterhood this morning. We are so happy to have Tunita Bailey. She is the president and CEO of Capital City Mortgage, and her friends call her the Money Lady. So that means you girls can call her the Money Lady.
The Money Lady. That's right. That's right.
Thank you so much for driving out this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, well, I'm super excited to jump into this conversation because when we get started, girlfriend, yes,
Yeah.
there's so many wise nuggets.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was really excited that you can join us to just share, your journey and your wins and your losses and what you're doing now. And the reality is everyone has had to shift.
That's right.
In a really big way, coming out of COVID and out of the
Absolutely.
pandemic.
Absolutely.
And so it's really important that we learn from each other and we grow from each other's mistakes. And
Absolutely.
so this is a platform where everybody can learn.
Yeah.
And so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So what's been keeping you busy, girl?
Ooh, well, as you said, Capital City Mortgage.
Yeah.
I mean, just trying to grow it. We're a nationwide company and got a team. Everybody's all over the place in different states. So just trying to pull all that stuff together. But that's what's been keeping me busy, keeping me up at night, basically.
Yeah. And so you've done this now for 30 years.
I've 30 years in the business. Started
So you
out
have
as,
to love it.
I absolutely love what I do. And I'll tell you a quick story. When I first started selling real estate, my boss used to say, I can't wait to go to bed at night so I can hurry up and get up in the morning and do what I do.
That's a real
and
thing.
that is what I
Yeah.
live by, because that's exactly how I feel about what I do. I love it.
And it's always shocking because they say, like, statistically, 8 out of 10 people hate what they do every day.
Yeah.
Like, hate
Yeah.
their jobs.
Yeah.
And that always surprises me because I've never been in a position. I mean, I've been in this business since I was 21, straight out of business school. And I've never not loved. I mean, there was tough times.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You have the ups and downs.
Yeah, it's
but-
like having a baby, right? Or having your kids.
Exactly.
But you always love them.
Exactly. You go right back to it.
Right.
So, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. We had a guest, Joanne Casey, who talked about vision and how you jump into discovering what you really love. So for you, how did you discover that this was going to be something that you were going to enjoy and be able to do with so much passion for 30 years?
Well, so I started out selling real estate when I got out of college, because I'm a salesperson by nature.
Okay.
Give me your lipstick and I will sell it, okay?
Okay.
And actually, I did do that when I was in college. I used to just sell everything, earrings, lipstick,
Yeah, my
whatever
kind of girl. I love
whatever
it.
I had, I could sell. I mean, I was just, so accustomed to selling. And then one day, I think it was my father who recently passed that said, why don't you go into real estate? And I thought, you know what, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So actually majored in real estate finance in college.
Did
and
you?
So, yes. And so that was kind of my background, the finance world and real estate. And I tell you, I had a teacher that my first real estate principles class walked in the room with a full-length black mink coat on.
Okay.
And I said, whatever she's doing, that's what I want to do right there,
that's
you know.
it.
And that's how I got into the real estate business, honestly.
That's powerful.
I got my real estate license while my last year in college, and I went straight into real estate sales and just had never looked back. And then the way that I kind of transitioned into the mortgage business, I had was selling real estate, doing property management, but I got married and started having children.
Yeah.
And the real estate business is kind of like a feast or famine.
Yes.
And my husband would say, well, because he worked for the fire department, and he would say, well,
It's a
I'm getting
very different lifestyle.
totally different. And so he would say, well, I'm getting paid on Friday. I got my check. Where's yours?
Yeah.
well, I'm closing. It's coming. You know, I
right.
would always, and then one day he
Putting
was
out the
like,
fires until it can close.
he was
Yeah.
like, you know what? You need to get a job. You know, you need to
Okay.
get a real job. And so I love what I did so much. It was like, I'm not going to leave this. I'll pivot. I'll do something
Yeah.
different, but I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. And I literally went down the phone book and looked for a bank and went to work for a bank as a loan officer.
I love it.
So that's how I transitioned from the real estate sales arena and start working for the banks
Right.
in the finance industry.
We
That's how I
adjust.
got there.
Yeah. I mean, we
Yeah,
adjust for what's right for our families.
exactly.
Right. At
Yep.
the end of the day,
Yep.
our families are the priority and we
Absolutely.
make the adjustment. But that
Abs-
doesn't mean that we have to abandon
no.
what we
No.
love. And there's
Exactly.
different ways to do it.
Yeah, you just have to figure out what it
Right.
is, you know, and how you can pivot,
Right.
and still be able to do everything that you want to do and that you love doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And also just using people as a sounding board, right?
Yeah.
For people who are going through that, where they're doing what they love, but it's just really not paying off.
right, exactly. Yeah, I think you have to have people in your life that can really look at it, because I know I'm the type of person, I'll just keep doing something. I'll just keep doing it. It's going to work. It's going to work.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have to have somebody that's looking from
Yeah,
the
on the
outside
yeah.
and say, you know what? I think you need to go do this instead of that. So, you know,
Yeah.
you got to have people in your life that'll shoot you straight, tell you the truth, and say, you know what, stop doing that and go over here and do this.
Right.
You know?
Well, and most companies who are successful have a board of directors
Exactly.
for a purpose and
Ex-
for a reason. It's designed so that you benefit. This company benefits as an organization through all the minds and all the opinions and all the
Absolutely.
differences.
Absolutely.
I'm always shocked because I'm a single woman now,
Yeah,
right? And I'm
yeah.
always shocked how much truth there is in opposites attract.
Absolutely. It
Right?
is.
Like we
Yeah.
have so many gaps.
Yeah.
And it's just so strange how when you're open to it, we get to grow and
Exactly.
experience
Yeah.
like a different level of fullness
Yeah.
because other people bring so much to the table.
Exactly. They fill in the gaps, and you know, me and my husband are absolutely opposite.
Are
okay?
you? Oh my gosh.
I'm
that's
like,
so
I'm talking,
cute.
talking,
Yeah.
talking, and he's quiet and listening. But we're totally opposite, and it makes you mad sometimes, because it's like he don't know what he's talking about,
Yeah.
you know. But in actuality, he's looking back. He can look to see,
Yeah.
and then you get mad. But then after a minute or so, you got to listen and say, well, you know what? Okay, he might be right. You know, so
It's a different view of
Yeah.
the mountain that he's
Exactly.
looking at, right? We're
Exactly.
looking at it like this, and
Exactly.
we're identifying. Okay, we're gonna get up them. This is our strategy to get to
Exactly.
the top.
Yeah.
And then he's just
Yeah, yeah.
It's just amazing.
It
It's just
is.
it always amazes me how people are just such a gift, and when
Yeah.
we're open to it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we allow. It's very easy for us to be around each other and the
Exactly.
people that are just like us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But there's so much to be said about being open to allowing other people
Yeah.
to have a say in not I mean, you got to know who you are.
Exactly. You got to know who to listen to, too. You know,
Yes.
you can't listen to everybody, because everybody doesn't know your journey. They don't
Yeah.
know where you're going, and they don't know your purpose. So you
Right.
can't listen to everybody. You have to understand who you are, and you have to know where you're going, and then you bring people in your life that can kind of help see your vision.
Yeah.
And if they can walk with you, then you listen to them.
Yeah. It's true. Well, and I think it's really amazing because I've had many moments in my life, just like you said, where you saw something and it resonated so much with you that it was just like
Yeah. Tunnel
dropped in
vision.
your it dropped in you, and you're like, that's mine.
Yeah.
That's what I need to be walking
Right.
towards. That's the life that I'm designed to live, and I'm going to go after it.
Exactly.
For me, it was I saw. I think I don't remember how old I'm. Maybe 9 or 10, and I was in a restaurant and I saw a woman in a business suit eating by herself, and I was just like, she seems peaceful and just like
And
together and
happy.
right. It's like, yes, I really like this.
Yeah.
And throughout the course of my journey, I've had a number of people that say, let me show you
Yes. Yes.
what to do. Let me show you how I've done
Absolutely.
this. And they show me different portions of life that I never would have had access to, because I didn't make that kind of income. Like I was never going
Absolutely.
to be on a private jet,
Yeah.
right? Like I
Yeah.
wasn't ever.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to, I didn't see it.
Right.
But it's amazing that when you see it,
Yeah. Yeah.
somehow your mind discovers a way to achieve it.
Absolutely.
It's powerful.
Absolutely.
So what we
Yes.
put in our minds
Yes. Yes.
is more important
Yes.
than we can ever even imagine what we allow to be put in there.
Absolutely. And you do have to protect, your vision and what's in your heart. And like you said, the only way to do that is you got to surround yourself with people that understand where you're going.
Yeah.
And then, they'll help take you there.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
So,
awesome.
and you have 2 kids?
I have 3.
3 kids.
3 wonderful kids.
I love it. How did you, and we were talking about this as we were drinking coffee this morning. They've done some pretty amazing things, and they're all independent, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
all succeeding in their own right, and
Yes.
also in all different industries.
Yeah, they
So
are.
so
are.
you were able to help them find
Yeah.
their journey.
Yeah,
How did you
absolutely.
do that?
Well, let me think about it a minute. I can summarize it, but really having the freedom and flexibility in what I did for a living, meaning that I could be there in the mornings, when they got ready to go to school.
Yeah.
I may not have been there when they got home, but I was there in the morning and just kind of helping them direct their, path. And my husband did a lot because I was working a lot, and as I told you, I put in a lot of time, a lot of hours in my business. So I was working a lot. But I think what my kids were able to see was the passion and the drive. And then when you have a desire for something and you are willing to work for it, you can do it. You can do
Right.
it no matter what. You have to be able to do it. And I think that's what they saw. So all 3 of my kids are, like I said, they all graduated from college, with some of them, a couple of them having master's degrees in international business. My second
Yeah,
daughter.
mama.
Yeah, they have
Yes.
great jobs. My daughter that lives in Arizona works for American Express, her and her husband out there. And my daughter Jade works for PepsiCo up in North Dallas. And then my son will be graduating in May. He'll be a CPA. And went to
Okay.
the University of Austin. So I'm really proud of my kids. And, I think, people say, well, I put a lot of time in my business and I helped a lot of people. But I think the proudest thing that I can say that I have was my kids. Is that they didn't go lacking. Now you talk to them, they may tell you a different story. But from what I see,
Yeah.
I'm proud that I was able to help them be who they needed to be. And I wrote a book, and one of the things I said in my book was my job as a parent first was to make sure that everybody around me was successful. And I just live for that.
it.
If you're
Yes.
successful, I'm successful.
Oh,
And so that's
yes.
always my goal. Anytime I'm with someone, from my kids on up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and especially, I think for me in raising my 4 boys, that's the thing that we probably overthink,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For me, I'm not what you would call a helicopter mom,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm extra,
Yeah.
right? I'm a little extra. So
Yeah.
I love to see when strong women dedicated their lives to a mission and purpose, succeeded, climbed that mountain with their babies. Everybody still won because
Yep.
you didn't win
Yeah.
by sacrificing
No,
something that
everybody.
was valuable and that you could never. I mean, we may not have quantity
Right.
of time
Right.
to be there for every car ride home
Yeah,
and
yeah,
every
yeah.
scraped knee,
Right.
but it was the quality
Absolutely.
of the time that we spent together,
Right.
to nourish
Absolutely.
their dreams and
Yeah.
their hopes. And
Absolutely.
so I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think that was my proudest moment, but I did teach my kids to be independent. That was a big thing for me.
So what did that actually look like? So
Well, what
was
that
it
looks
like
like,
clean after yourself? Like what?
absolutely. Everybody had their own chores,
Right.
you know.
I am not your maid.
I am not the
Right.
maid. Matter of fact,
Right.
I'm not even going to be here. So
Right.
you need to
So good
make sure
luck.
you know how to do what you
Yeah.
need to do. And I never will forget when my first daughter first went off to college, because everybody had chores. Everybody had to wash the dishes for a week, you know, do the clothes,
Yes.
keep your room clean. I mean, everybody had to help, because if you're working, especially if you own a business and you're responsible for a whole lot of people,
Right.
you're only one person. You can't do it all.
Right.
And so you got to have everybody to be engaged. And I never will forget when my daughter went off to college at A&M, she was like, "Mom, these girls don't know how to clean up. You know, they don't know how to do this and do that." And I said, "Well, be glad you do."
Yes.
And my son, my other two daughters, they went off to college and he was home by himself. And I actually, when the market kind of crashed and shifted, I had to go get a real job.
Okay.
So I had to leave really early in the morning. So he used to get up and fix himself breakfast, you know, cook pancakes and all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
So I really believe in teaching my kids how to fly on their own. And I think that's a credit, you know, to me. I just
Take
think
it, girl.
they should
Take
be
it.
independent. I mean,
Yes.
because you're not gonna always be with me, and so it was important for me to teach them, hey, you can do it by yourself. Now I'm here to help you if you fall, if you need my help, I'm
Right.
here, but you can do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And being able to give them the confidence that,
Right.
because when you do something on your own,
Right.
you build a different level of
You do.
confidence than
You
when
do.
somebody else
Does it for you.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I love the whole concept of being able to not necessarily do it all, but being willing to, you know, have the experience in life that you're taking on new challenges and letting your children see you take on new challenges, because, you know, we're not limited
Right.
to just one role. And
Right.
we love being mothers, and I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
But women can do so much.
We have to.
And you're a
Yeah.
testament of
Yeah.
it. And we've got a couple of your books here too, so I
Yes,
can't wait to jump
yes,
into
yes,
those.
yes, we
But
do.
what has been, you know, in the business now? You've rebuilt the business, and the amazing thing is the journey of rebuilding. We were talking about this earlier, how, you know, as the market shifts and life changes, and you're constantly just, it's an ebb and flow of what's
Right.
happening in life. That
Exactly.
causes sometimes for you to start over
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and take a look at the mountain and say, like, okay, we're climbing it again.
Yep. We're
Like-
doing it again. We're rolling up our sleeves. We're
Yeah.
changing. We may have to go in a different direction, but you know, you have to shift. I think one of the biggest things that the mortgage business has taught me is that you got to be willing to change. You cannot
Especially all
stay.
those laws that are changing all the time, rates changing.
The
Good
rates
grief.
change, the products
Programs,
change,
yep.
they go away, they come back. You know, you got people at the closing table, and then they say, "Well, we're not doing that program anymore." What?
Oh my goodness.
You know, so you have to be willing to change, and so
Yeah.
that's what it's taught me. And you can't be afraid of that. You got to say, "Well, we can't do this program anymore, so let's do this." Or I can't do it like this anymore, let's do this. I mean,
Right.
the pandemic was a perfect example. You know, everybody, we couldn't meet with each other and all of that. Okay, so now we got Zoom. Now
Right.
we got Zoom meetings.
Right.
You know, but
We
really,
found a way.
We found a way, and it opened it up. It
Right.
really opened it up. Now we can do business all over
Right.
with no limitations.
No limitations at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Well, and it's really just, you know, expecting the best,
Yeah.
preparing for the worst,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we can't expect anything to stay the same.
Absolutely. Nothing
What
stays
is it
the
about
same.
us? Right. What is it about us that makes us want to just lock into
Yeah.
it has to be the same, and when it's not, it's anxiety
Yeah,
and stress
yeah.
and chaos and like the
Yes.
worst versions of ourselves coming out, because I've done that too,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
what? Why?
Yeah. Why does it have to change? Well, the seasons change.
Yes.
They have to change, whether you want it to or not. It's going to get
Sister.
cold. It's going to get hot.
Girl.
You know, it's going to change. So what do
Talk
you have to
about
do?
it.
You got to put your sweater on. You know, you have your boots on when
Yes.
it's cold. And then in the summer, you got your shorts and your shirt. I mean, you got to change.
Yeah.
And so life is like that. Business is like that. You got to be willing to change when the seasons change.
Yeah. And it also causes you to do something different.
Absolutely.
So in the summertime,
Yep.
when
Yeah.
the ground is hard
Yeah.
and the sun is beating down on
Yeah.
it and it
Yeah.
looks like everything is dead.
Right.
Well, there was a seed
That's
planted
right.
in the springtime.
Absolutely.
And the
Absolutely.
earth, as it's all changing and
Yep.
as we're all changing with it, as autumn comes
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it's time to harvest,
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
then you see it.
You see it. You see it. But if you didn't plant anything, there's nothing you can get from the harvest, right?
That's
So
right.
in every season, you got to continuously plant. Whatever you're supposed to be planting, whatever you're supposed to be doing in that season of life, you got to first recognize it, and then you have to do it. You have to take action on it.
And you seem to have a really, I've known you, I think now for, I don't know, it's been about a good 6 or 7 years. It's
Yeah.
been a hot minute since
Yeah.
I've known the money lady. Um, and you seem to have a really clear direction for each season and shift.
Yeah.
And just even being able to, work with you on this new project that I've got going on. The systems
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
processes,
Systems
and you
processes.
shifted, and
Yeah.
it's just so, I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really am.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm glad that we're able to experience each other,
Yes.
in this way. And
So how did you get so focused into, okay, the markets have shifted, the industry has shifted, this is what we do now? Because truly your systems are really forerunners.
Yeah.
Because it's for us, it's to create that client experience.
right.
How did
Exactly.
you
Well,
come
a
up with?
couple of things. So, first of all, in life and in business, sometimes you have to make a decision. And remember, I told you I was selling real estate and I was doing loans. I was doing both. So, whenever you're trying to do both, you can't be a master of anything, right? You got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And I read this book, and everybody should read this book once or twice in their life. It's called Think and Grow Rich by
Oh,
Napoleon
yes,
Hill.
Napoleon Hill.
And in
Love it.
2014, I read that book. I was in a
Write it
group
down, girls.
setting.
Write it
It down, right, and read it. Listen, you can go on YouTube. It's free. Listen to it every
Yes.
single day.
Yes.
It'll change your life. Based on me reading that book and just a lot of other things that was
Isn't
happening
that
in that
interesting?
season.
Wow.
I was so desperate at that point. I was like, okay, I got to do something different. I mean, what I'm doing is not working. What is it that I need to do? And so, just because I was asking that question, praying about it, thinking about it, not necessarily telling everybody, but just thinking about what do I do next. I was in a conference room with some ladies at a meeting, mortgage meeting, and somebody said, well, you know what? Have you thought about reading this book and joining this mastermind group called Think and Grow Rich? No, I hadn't thought about that, but that was the best thing. And then the other thing is when people tell you something, you have to take action.
That's right.
Don't let people say things because they're supposed to be telling you that at that moment to cure something. So she told me about it. I immediately got on the mastermind call the next day, got the book download, started reading, did everything she said do. The number one thing that I got from that was I have to be a master of one thing. So in 2014, again, I was a real estate broker, mortgage broker, had my own company doing my own thing, but I could never get where I wanted to be. So I had to decide. I had to say, okay, am I going to be a real estate broker, property manager, investor, am I going to do all these things or am I going to do one thing well? And so that's what the book, kind of helped me refocus and redefine who I was. So once I accepted that, I said, you know what? I'm going to be the money lady.
I love it.
I'm not going to do real estate. And when you know that you've made a commitment to something, you have to let something go. Okay. So I when it was time to renew my broker's license, to show my commitment and my decision that I made, I didn't even renew my broker's license that I had for 25 years.
Yeah.
I made a decision. And if I tell you, I have never regretted that decision. So as far as the systems and processes and things that I put in place, once I was laser focused on what I was going to do with my business and where I was going, I can get laser focused, right? You can create the systems behind what you're doing. But if you're all over the place and you're doing 10 different things and okay, I don't even know what to do. People
Right.
don't even know how to address you
Right.
because you're always all over
You
the
haven't created your
place.
personal brand. They don't
Absolutely.
even know how to send you business
Yeah,
or how to help you, how to mentor you.
because you don't even, they don't know what you do.
Right.
So once I made the decision to just be the money lady, focus on financial services, that's my brand, that's what I
I
do,
love
then
it.
I could create the systems behind that to help me give a customer a great experience
Right.
and to give my team direction and my team vision, because they want to know that it's single, you're singly focused.
Right. That you're an expert in that area. And
Absolutely.
it's amazing that, you say decisions there was a decision that was made, and I say it all the time in my home. Your decisions are
Yeah,
creating your future.
absolutely.
And I'm sure that the decision to get really focused and to
Hmm.
join this mastermind
Yes.
and to learn and to grow. And
Hmm.
I love, so I was 18 when I first read that book.
Oh, wow. Wow.
18. And
Yeah.
it changed my entire life.
Yeah.
It was the first time that I had ever, because I was raised in a way that, you know, education was not necessarily. I was smart, but nobody ever said, "Oh, you should go to college," or
Yeah.
"Maybe you should reach for more." Or
Yeah.
it was more like settle down,
Yeah.
have children, be
Right.
in church on Sunday, make
Right.
sure. Which all of those things are beautiful,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
But I was designed and made for more, and there was a
Exactly.
burning passion and a vision that God had put in my heart to
Hmm.
do. And when I read this book, it resonated with me so much, and it was the start of a hunger and thirst to just start growing, because there
Hmm.
was so
Hmm.
many people. So Jim Rohn,
Yep.
I still
Jim
have
Rohn.
117 hours of Jim Rohn's,
Wow.
all of his lectures.
Yes.
Anybody
Yes.
who's listening, Jim
Jim
Rohn.
Rome. Jim
Oh
Rome.
my
Jim
goodness,
Rome. Yeah. Yeah.
phenomenal
Yes.
speaker,
Yes. Yes.
just about life
Right.
and about how to overcome and
Right.
achieve and move forward.
Exactly.
But
Y-
it was a game changer. Your decisions are
Yep.
deciding your future. Your decisions,
Right.
not everybody else's. It's not the industry.
Mm-mm.
It's always
Mm-mm.
it's always interesting. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people come into the business, and the when people leave the business, it's always, oh, the industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
broker.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this.
Yeah.
It's everything
Everything
else.
else.
But it's never you, babe.
Exactly. You got to take
What?
ownership at some
Right.
point.
And
Yeah.
so it's amazing, because what happens is those people stay stuck in the same thing. So
Yeah.
then they leave that church, or they
Yeah.
leave that
Yep.
relationship, and it was
Yeah.
it was everyone else's
Yeah.
fault.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
ruined these relationships, but it was all their fault.
Exactly.
Like there wasn't any
Yeah.
personal responsibility to say, you know what? I'm going to change.
Right.
What
Exactly.
is not working? My back is up against a wall, but that
Right.
doesn't mean I get to start pointing fingers. I'm going to change, because there's no industry, there's no COVID, there's no pandemic
Right.
that can shut down
Yeah.
my blessing on the earth.
Absolutely.
Nobody gets to
Absolutely.
decide that.
Exactly.
Only we get to decide
Only
that.
you have to own where you are in
Right.
life. You really do. And you
Yep.
can't blame other people.
No.
And yes, it's true. Things do happen in the industry. Well, things happen in life. That's just how it is. That's
Heck,
why it's called life.
That's right. 18% in the 80s.
Yeah.
Were you
I
in the
was in the business in 88, 89. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
mean,
14,
whew.
15% interest rates, and people still bought.
Yes. Business was still happening all the
Absolutely.
time, all across
Absolutely.
the world.
Yeah, but speaking of Jim Rohn and Napoleon Hill, one of the things too that I learned too is really all about your mindset and what you allow in your mind. And so in that journey, when I started listening to Napoleon Hill, I ended up starting to listen to a lot of great, successful mentors and speakers. And we were talking about systems earlier.
Right.
Michael Gerber was another one.
Yes.
Because
Game changer.
yeah, I
E-myth.
mean, oh my God, it was a game changer for me. There was a YouTube video, and God, you can go on YouTube, pull up the E-myth,
Yeah.
Michael Gerber. Listen to how he told the story how McDonald's, just had systems, and you can place people in systems, right?
Right.
With no experience. And so I got that from him, and so I said, you know what? That's what I'm missing in my business is systems and processes, because you have to be able to duplicate. So you have to do that in your personal life first. You got to change your mindset, get new information,
Yep.
and then you got to execute the information that you receive.
Yeah, it's powerful because especially in today's day and age, relying on one key employee to
Yeah.
make a business work
Yeah.
or relying on
Yeah.
even yourself and your time. We're mamas like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want it all to rest the success of everything to rest on my
Yeah. Me
shoulders.
either.
And so
Yeah.
the solution is
Yeah.
systems.
And
And I've loved
processes.
that.
Yeah.
So some of the systems that you use
Mm-hmm.
are real because it's a service industry. It's that communication
Right.
tool.
Right.
And because I'm experiencing the
Yeah.
process as well, it was video
Yeah.
and multimedia.
Yes.
And
Yes.
for people who may be, afraid to use video and multimedia,
Yeah.
because everything that you do twice
Yeah.
can just be done in a system.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that I get to spend my time doing this, which I love to
Absolutely.
do, right? Like connecting with people,
Right.
growing. It's nourishing.
Yeah,
Is it not?
It is. It is. And it really makes for more of a client experience, like you
Yes.
said. And even though I'm not the one calling you every day, but you still feel like you're being served, right?
Right.
Because I have systems and people in place to make sure that that happens. So I think it's very important to have systems and processes.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure. So and plugging the right people in there
absolutely.
is so
Absolutely.
that people skill.
Right.
And the reality is people require time.
Yeah.
If we plug them into the right system, it's a recipe for success for them. But then at the same time, as business owners, they need that relationship with us.
Absolutely.
So now you get to use your time
Yes.
wisely. It's very similar to the way that we run our home.
Absolutely.
Right? Like if
Yeah.
we are managing, like you said,
Yeah.
do it first in your personal life. If you're
Right.
running your home properly, everybody's doing what they're supposed to be
supposed to.
doing,
Yep.
and you give them the skills
Right.
and the tools.
Right.
Then
Right.
as it's time to sit down for dinner, I'm not over there fussing at the kitchen
Right,
sink and
right.
slamming the cabinet door and trying to do all.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down with them face to
Absolutely.
face, giving them the eye contact they need,
Right.
giving
Right.
them that emotional connection that they need,
Right.
allowing them to be heard.
Right. Exactly.
It's a powerful thing.
It really is.
But it starts with me taking the
Exactly.
personal decision to say, you know
Absolutely.
what, I'm going to take it to the next level.
Absolutely. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
And I will say this for those mamas out there is a scientific research. I don't even remember I don't know if it was the Wall Street Journal or where I read it, but children absolutely have to have 15 minutes of eye contact. Like they will score higher on, and this is good for you, Mariah, they will score higher on all IQ tests, on their SATs, their ACTs. They just plow through life in a different way when they get
Wow.
15 minutes of eye
Eye
contact.
contact. Wow. I never knew that.
Is
but
that
that's,
not amazing?
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's really the essence of it is when we have put our life in order, we get to spend our time doing the highest payoff activities.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that my kids always tell me is, Mama, you're always telling us stuff. You're always giving us some wisdom, and because I'm trying to share, my experience and show you things and teach you things and tell you things so that hopefully you won't make the same mistakes. And we were talking about mentorship, earlier, and just finding people that can help you navigate life and navigate business and how important that is. And for me, and you got to be willing to pay for it too. That's another thing.
That's real.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, for me, just going through the whole transition of my business, I learned to go to the experts. If it's something that you want to know about something, go find the people that are doing it and doing it well. And that's who you listen to.
Yes.
And you do what they do.
It's the law of modeling.
Yes, it is.
You can model some really terrible people in your life and end up in prison for the rest of your life, end up destroying
Exactly.
relationships.
Right.
But the opposite is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be intentional about modeling the people that inspire you.
Absolutely.
That are going in the same direction as you, that are aligned. And
Right.
and it hits different too. Like you said, when that woman came into that class
Yeah.
and she had that mink coat on, there's
Yeah.
something that resonates.
Yeah.
Pay attention to that.
And she
Write it
didn't even-
down.
she didn't have to say anything.
Girl, you don't even need to talk.
It was just
She
her
created a visual.
It was
What?
just the president's. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love that. And so you are now climbing up a mountain, a new mountain in a new
mountain.
season.
New season. again.
Again.
And it's okay. It's okay to start over.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are afraid of that. Well, this failed or it didn't work out like I thought it was going to do. That's okay.
And bringing it down to even just the difference between men and women.
Yeah.
Men are willing to fail. That's why
Yeah.
they say that men are jumping into the stock market
Right.
like 10 times over what
Right.
women are willing to do. We don't like the risk.
Right.
We don't like the ups and downs.
Right.
We want the steady,
Yeah.
and we're built for that.
Right.
However, as women,
Yeah.
stepping out of that and being willing to say, okay, you know what? Let me just give it a try.
Exactly.
What's the worst that can happen?
If it doesn't work, so what?
Right.
Do it again. Try
That's
it
right.
a different way.
Learn something new.
And do something different. It's okay. And speaking of men and women and the fear factor, a lot of times people don't do things because they're afraid, and it's all in your mindset. So if you have something that you want to accomplish in your life and you really want to do it but you're afraid, just start getting yourself around people. Start listening to things, because sometimes you can't get around people that are successful, but you can go on YouTube and research whatever that thing is you want to do.
Yeah.
Go seek out the person that's successful and start feeding your mind, and the fear goes away.
It's amazing. It's you, and a lot of times fear is just you don't have the information.
Exactly.
That feeling of fear
Yeah.
is you just didn't gather enough.
Exactly.
All you got to do is just gather it.
Absolutely.
And with podcasts, and you're right, like YouTube,
Yeah.
my goodness. I am on, so my favorite podcast right now is John Maxwell's leadership podcast.
I love read all his books.
Because
Yep.
like I have hit my head against
Yeah.
the wall with people
Exactly.
over and
Yeah.
over and over.
Yeah.
And I'm to the point where, I don't need the, it's got to be me
Yeah.
who's got to make the change. I've got to lead differently.
Right.
I've got to be
Exactly.
able
Yeah.
to learn the skills.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's
And then
definitely
be able
been
to
a
teach others. I mean,
Yes.
because that's what John Maxwell describes as, with leadership, is that if you're leading, but you're the one doing everything, you're not leading.
correct.
Yeah, you have to train and teach people and empower people
Yes.
to do what you want them to do and help make them successful. So if you always do that, you're leading.
Mm-hmm.
You're leading without, speaking. Your actions are speaking louder than your words.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's powerful. So you can get access, you can gather the information.
Exactly.
There's a plethora of information, and
Yeah.
we have more time than we think.
Yeah. Yeah.
People who say, I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
Listen up.
Yeah.
We have a lot more time
Right.
than we think. So take an
Absolutely.
account.
Yeah. Exactly.
Take an account of how we're using our time, and then be accountable.
Absolutely. Magic word, be accountable.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Hold yourself accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For what the things that you want to do.
Yep.
Write them down, and make a decision on them.
Absolutely. I love that you are enjoying this new season of your life. You're an empty
I am.
nester.
Empty nester. Woo, for
Yes.
the empty nesters out there. All the kids gone. You got the house to yourself.
I don't even know what that would feel like.
It feels good. I'm telling
Girl.
you. It feels good.
That's
It
amazing.
really
I'm finally to the
does.
point where I don't have to give rides every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like living, it's cloud nine. I come into the
Yes.
office every day with Mariah, and like I'm beaming with
Yes,
joy, right? Because I got
yes.
to actually have a decent cup of coffee, get a workout in.
Exactly.
It's a whole different world.
It's a whole new season. And then when all the kids are gone and they're doing their thing, it's even better, and they're successful. It's even better because now you can focus on what you want to do.
Yeah.
And that's where I am in my season now. I'm really focusing on building the business, but more than just building the business. And it's not just about making the money. It's the people that I'm able to share and teach and train and kind of impart. I'm kind of in a different season. Is that the money? It comes. I've been there, done that one.
Heck, when you're problem solving
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
problem solving at a
Yeah.
high level, the
Yeah.
money finds you.
It finds you.
It
You don't
hunts
have
you
to.
down.
You don't have to chase
Isn't
it.
that
It's gonna
strange?
find you.
Yeah, we were
Just
talking about
do
this. I
your
was like,
job.
yeah, I was just,
Yeah.
I'm just not willing to rise and grind anymore.
Me either. I'm
Girl,
so tired of that. Yeah.
Not gonna do it.
Yeah. Not saying that we're not gonna work, but we're
Yes.
gonna work smarter.
Yes.
And not harder, because I think it was all about working hard and grinding and hustling, and not there. So this season in my life, I want to do more teaching and training. So I have a lot of things that I'm doing. I'm teaching new people that want to get into the mortgage business.
Sure.
If you want to be a processor, we have a course on that. If you want to be an underwriter, we have a course on that. And I tell people the mortgage business is the best kept secret because you can make all the money you want working from the comforts of your home.
It's
And
amazing.
helping people.
Yeah, I mean, and that's changing people's lives.
Yeah, it does.
Because you don't
Yeah.
need, 4-year degrees,
You
6-year,
don't.
but
That's
you
the
can
secret.
make right. That is amazing that
Yeah.
um, you can make as much as you want.
You
Being in
can.
the money business, I'm in the money business.
I'm in the money
You're in the money
business.
business,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Whether
yes.
it's from trading stocks
Yes,
to
yes.
real estate and
Yes.
everything in between, financial services, all of that. The money business.
Yes.
Women aren't usually in the money
That's
business.
right. That's right. We're not.
Right.
But I think now is the time to get into the money business. And you said it as far as investing in real estate, investing in stock, So you have to diversify. One of the things that I learned in my business is that I was so focused on just investing in real estate. I didn't invest in the stock market like I should have. And I was just so laser focused on what I was doing. Well, what the pandemic has taught us is that you can't just focus on one stream. You have to
Yeah.
kind of diversify. So I'm in the stock market now. I'm in cryptocurrency.
Okay.
I'm in real estate investing. I'm in building. I'm doing some other things. And now I have the freedom and flexibility to look at it and do it. Take a class here and there. So,
Sure.
and educate yourself. So I wouldn't say jump off and start doing a bunch of stuff
Right.
without being educated.
I mean, that's the fastest way to lose money,
Yeah,
right? It's
exactly.
like jump into something.
Yeah.
Number one of my mentors would always say, Erica, don't invest in anything that you're not passionate about
Right.
learning about.
Exactly.
If you don't want to go out and learn it,
Right.
don't do it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it could just be this trend that everybody's jumping on. And sure, everybody else is maybe making money, but if you don't want to learn about it, then you're not gonna be checking into those accounts. You're not
Exactly.
going to be understanding the markets. You're not going to grow in that area.
Yeah.
And you're just going to open yourself up to risk and loss.
And you're going to lose.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have to find something
Yeah.
that you love. But encouraging women, I love that you're the money lady and that you've done this business, you've built it, you've shown you can be successful. I have as well. And drawing more women into that.
Yes,
Because
yeah.
truly the flexibility, you can be the mom you want to be
can.
and
You
be
can.
incredibly successful
Yes,
and
you
make the
can.
money you want and go on the vacations and send the kids to college.
That's right. You can do
And
it
have
all.
the portfolio.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's just sometimes just freaking shutting that Netflix off, girl.
Exactly.
Shut it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Open a
yeah.
dang book.
Exactly. Or start listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
Listen to some audio CDs. Get up earlier in the mornings.
That's right. Your decisions are
Yeah.
deciding your future.
Absolutely.
And when we
Absolutely.
decide to grow
Yeah.
and to learn and
Yeah.
to absorb from the best minds out there.
Right.
Like
right.
that's what that's what this podcast is about is
Yeah.
let's grow together. This is where money and women grow.
Absolutely.
Because when you put money in the hands of strong,
Yeah.
loving women,
Yeah. Exactly.
this world changes.
Yeah, it does. It does. But you also have to know what to do with it.
Yes.
And I've experienced that where you can make a lot of money, just like people on the lottery. Some people,
Yeah.
they get a lot of money real fast, and then the next thing you know, they're broke.
What did they say? I think it was 9 out of 10 go
Yeah,
bankrupt
yeah.
within the first 5 years
Because
of winning the
what
lottery.
happens
Mariah?
is that
It's
if you
crazy.
don't understand what to do, and you don't educate yourself and you don't find that mentor or coach to come and show you, you're going to be right back where you started.
Right.
And why? Because of your mindset.
Yep.
So it's so important to change your mindset. But I want to talk about where I am now as far as the rebuilding process. I mentioned to you that I sold my last piece of property that I had. It was an Airbnb property that I had here in Arlington. Had it for about 2-3 years or so. And
Yeah.
when the pandemic hit, everybody canceled, right, for the whole year. And so it was like, okay, what do I do now?
Yep.
Still got to make a mortgage payment on it.
Yep.
And so we were able to kind of, walk through that process. but ended up, just deciding to sell the property. So now I am in the process of rebuilding, through syndication. We were talking about that,
Yeah.
raising some capital so that we can build some apartments and do some things. So if anybody is interested in investing, but you don't want to do it alone, we have an opportunity for people to do that.
I love that. So they would go to your website.
They would go to the website. Well, they would go to the website to send me an email so that we can have a conversation,
Right.
because everybody is not ready to go to that level.
Right.
But yes, that's how they would contact me.
I love it. And your website is?
CapitalCityMTG.com.
We'll make sure it's up there
Yeah.
too, so that
Yeah.
everybody can reach out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you're right. So the what statistics show us is women have a lot more cash just sitting there
Yes.
than men,
Yes.
because the fear, the
Right.
risk, and like we said, it's just information.
Right.
It's time to go out there and gather that information and make sure that you're meeting the right people, to be able to jump into bigger projects.
Absolutely.
Right? Like I was able to jump into my biggest projects because I took on a partner, and I was
Yeah.
always like, no, I'm
Yeah.
never going to have a partner.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of little duplexes
Yeah.
and little
Yeah.
townhome projects
Right.
and little, storage unit projects. And then one day a really big project came my way, and it was a killer deal. And I had to make a call, and,
Yeah.
and, thankfully, the partnership was such a blessing, but,
Yeah.
identifying the right partners,
Right.
finding out, who are the right people to come on this journey with you
Right.
as you're out there and you're practicing, getting into relationship and working through,
Yeah.
the professional people process of
Right.
development.
Absolutely.
You learn, you start understanding, like, oh, within 5 minutes we could build something together.
Exactly.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you start to sort and qualify
Yes, you do.
a whole lot faster
Absolutely. Absolutely.
when you get out there and you start growing as a
exactly.
person.
Yeah. I call that, having a meeting of the minds.
I love that.
Because if
meeting
you're
of the
having a
minds.
meeting of the minds like we're doing, we're
Yeah.
able to collaborate and talk about things, and we want to go in a certain direction. If we both want to go in that direction, there's nothing wrong with doing a partnership.
Right.
It's when one person's going this way and the other person's going the opposite way, that doesn't work. But if you have a meeting of the minds and you want to do something and it's bigger than what you have normally been able to do it.
Right.
Do it. Yeah.
And don't be afraid of it.
Absolutely.
I always give the example of, men have the golf course where
Yeah.
all of these deals and
Yeah.
transactions
Yeah.
are made.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so us girls need to come up with our own version of the
Yeah.
golf course.
Well, the podcast is
the
our
podcast,
golf course.
yes, lots of brunches, Tanita.
Yes,
lots of brunches
definitely.
coming up in the
Yes.
schedule.
Zoom meetings and things
Yes.
like that. Yeah. I was going to mention to you, too, the other thing that the pandemic caused us to do in our business, because everybody's so spread out and we're all working from home,
Yeah.
is that we meet every morning at 9 a.m. on
Do
Zoom.
you?
Every morning.
Do a
on
little
our-
huddle.
We do a huddle every morning.
And what do you guys do on this huddle?
We go over our pipelines. I'm a technology person, so we have a pipeline manager that we use. So everybody is held accountable on the pipeline manager. So I can easily see what you're doing or what you're
Okay.
not doing. Okay. So, and you can see what you're doing and not doing. So, just being able to meet and do that on Zoom, and we require that. You gotta be held accountable, and in order to do that, let's meet on Zoom if we can't meet together. So that has been also another game changer for our business.
Yeah, so staying in communication.
Got to connect. You
Yeah.
have to connect with people. And that's the thing. We're all built to have relationships, and
Yeah.
we're not made to be by ourselves, right? Even though we're in our homes. So being able to connect
Yeah.
with everybody is really important.
Yeah, we are better together.
Yeah,
So
we
I love
are.
that. So in this season, you've been shifting. I immediately noticed, like, wow, your technologies, your systems, your client
Yeah.
experience, the
Yeah.
videos, the explanations, the text messages, the calls, the
Yeah.
call center, the process, that back end.
Yeah.
All of it is
Game
just,
changer.
it is
Yeah.
so, it's with so much excellence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I loved it. And it really is, just taking a step back and seeing, what are the pieces that I need in this business. So how How did you identify that?
Well, again, the pandemic caused us to pivot. And so one of the things
How long did it take you, by the way, to put all
well,
this in
now it
place?
has taken me a minute. Okay. I would say probably full fledged, probably about 8 or 9 years total.
Wow.
But I really started making a shift once I changed my mind and decided I want to be a nationwide mortgage company. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to just be a mom and pop mortgage company. I wanted to be, and I do want to trade on the public stock exchange. I mean, that's one of my goals. Is that
That
I
is a
want to.
mountain you're going to
That
climb.
is a mountain I
You're going to
will
go
climb.
public.
I will be going public. Not
Yes.
today, but I'm working
Yes.
on it. That's
Oh
so
my
in my
goodness.
mind.
That's
So everything
amazing.
that I'm doing, again, you have to make a decision on where you want to go.
Yes.
And of course, I'm a minority woman-owned mortgage company, and there's not a lot of us out there that's doing what I'm doing. So I just made a decision. I said, I don't want to be the average person. I operate like I'm a huge corporation, and I am. Okay, so
Yeah, it's
so
sizable.
so I operate like that. So in building the systems, I decided I want to be a nationwide company, and we are now. We're licensed. We can do business in all states as
That
far
is
as doing mortgages.
phenomenal.
Yeah, and just including the real estate back on, because we were talking about that. So, gonna still do mortgage and real estate. I'm not gonna do
No.
real estate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have other people that's doing it, but I'm just gonna be directing and helping people get what they need to be. So, in this season of my life, it's just rebuilding. But I want to take. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all the way to the top.
Girlfriend, you're my
Go
kind of
all the way
girl.
to the
You are
top.
my kind of
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
I love that because, some people, empty nesters, they
Yeah.
think, oh, let's start slowing down.
Yeah.
You're like,
Then
no,
you
I'm
die.
taking a company public. That's what
right.
I'm
taking
That's
the
the mountain
company
I'm going to
public.
climb.
Absolutely, and I can do it.
You
Why not?
certainly can.
Why not?
Somebody's going to do it.
Exactly.
It might
as well be me.
girl. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I say it every time, everything I want is uphill.
That's right. That's right.
So finding the people that are willing to dig in, do the work,
Yes,
and
yes.
run the race with you with a good
Exactly.
attitude,
Absolutely.
bringing their best to the table.
Absolutely.
Go through. Everybody's gonna have tough moments. Everybody's
Absolutely.
gonna have to shift. Everybody has
Yeah.
those times when we don't want to show up. It's really difficult. There's family things
Yeah.
happening. Life is
Life.
happening.
Life.
It's not pretty.
Yeah.
Our success journey has been messy. I think I didn't know that coming in. I thought when I was younger,
Yeah.
oh, my path, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get married and everything is so beautiful,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all these,
Yeah.
you think, I don't know why we have all these
Fairy
really
tales.
weird, yes,
the fairy tales.
the fairy
what we
tales,
watched.
right?
Yeah, we
Like,
thought,
ladies, no one's coming to rescue
no, you have to rescue yourself. Yeah. You
Yeah.
rescue yourself. Yeah.
This is right. And
Yeah.
so that's getting up in the morning,
Yeah.
bringing your best every
Exactly.
single day,
Yeah.
getting clear, making decisions that you will
Absolutely.
thank yourself tomorrow for. Like,
Yeah.
the future me is
Yeah.
going to look back and say, Erica,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
Yeah.
starting. Thank you so much for getting out of bed. Thank you so
Exactly.
much for pouring into your
Yeah.
children,
Yeah.
for loving your community.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Not
connecting.
quitting.
Thank you for not quitting.
and giving up, even if you wanted to, and you
Yes.
want to, but you get up the next day and said, "I can't quit."
Everybody wants to quit.
Everybody wants to quit.
I
when the
guarantee
going gets tough.
100% you're going to want to quit.
Yeah, and they say you want to quit right when you are right at the edge of going to the next level.
Yeah.
That's when you feel it the most, and that's when you gotta persevere and keep going.
What helps you persevere in life?
Ooh, well, first of all, my faith. I'm a strong believer in God. I pray a lot. I get all of my direction from the Lord. I feel like He speaks to me and knows
Yeah.
exactly what, and can order my steps. So that's the one biggest thing. But I think just, I don't know where the drive to just want to be successful came from. Probably from my dad. He was a entrepreneur. He owned his own trucking company for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And he kind of instilled that entrepreneurship, in all of us. I have two other brothers, and I'm the oldest, by the way. Are you the oldest in your family?
I'm the middle.
Oh, I would have thought you were the oldest.
Well, my older brother had passed away, so I kind of took that
Oh,
role.
okay.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
yeah, I'm very
The older siblings kind of have a different, like, we got to take charge.
We show up a
Yeah,
little differently on the
exactly.
earth.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
do.
But anyway, so yeah, I think that's where the drive came from, the entrepreneurial drive, and just want to be successful.
What was important about what was important about entrepreneurship that your father instilled in you? Like what part of it was?
Just the
Because it was his journey wasn't just as messy, I'm sure.
Absolutely,
There is
it
no
was.
entrepreneur, whether they
Yes.
have built a billion-dollar company
Yes,
or
yes.
they've only made it to their first six figures.
Absolutely.
Every single one of them have
You
this
had a journey.
grit and grind and blood, sweat, and tear
Yeah.
kind of experience.
Yeah, I think the thing that I keep hearing in my head, I guess from my father's experience and his relationship, is the words, "You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. You can do it."
Ooh, you just
Don't
giving me this
stop.
eye contact right now, and you said
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you can do it. Yeah, who said you
Yes.
couldn't do that? And you know,
Right.
we
Who
get
has lied to you?
who told you that you
Right.
couldn't do it? Who told you?
Right.
Who told
said?
you the sky was not the limit? Who told you that it was not?
Right.
It is. You
Yeah,
can
great.
go as high as you think you can go.
That's right.
There's no boundary. There's no set limit. If it's a limit, it's the one you set in your own mindset.
Yep.
So to me, that's been a thing that I've always said. Who said I couldn't do it?
Right. Who was this person? Right.
What are they talking? And they don't know what they're talking about anyway. So,
No.
you know, but anyway, I think that was a main thing that for me is that I've always believed that I could do it and I can do anything. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me,
Yeah,
right? I can
that's
do
right.
it. I don't have any limits.
That is so
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. No, I really, and if there's anything that I could ever give to my children is that confidence
Yeah.
and that knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, you
that,
can do
heck,
it.
You
do
can
it-
do
anything.
all things.
You can. You can.
Good grief. Because when you tap into that, it's a whole different level.
It's a
of
whole
strength.
different. It gives you so much confidence when you feel like quitting and giving up. You know, you just remind yourself, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do it.
So when I get to those moments and I'm just like, oh goodness, right? Like I'm just not there. One of the things that has really helped me, and I'll share this with our listeners, is moving. Start to move your
Take
body.
action. Yeah.
Move your body.
Yeah.
Your mind starts moving. Move your body. I
Yeah.
put music on. I start moving. Do a
Absolutely.
little dance, and then
Yes.
all of a sudden, what the next steps start rolling out. What do you do
Absolutely.
next? If you are completely stuck and you're confused, it's about figuring out what to do
What
next.
do I do next? Yeah.
The next question is so powerful because that's the fear that, oh, I don't know what to do. But there is no confusion when you take charge and you take responsibility and you hone in, get that body moving, get
Right.
that mind
Yeah.
moving,
Yeah.
get refreshed,
Yeah.
get
do something.
Yes. Take that action
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
okay, what's the next step? Even if it's just doing a dance in your kitchen.
Exactly. Exactly.
Creating
yeah.
some kind of movement.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
that'll start creating the momentum to start, okay, let's re-strategize in
Right,
the business.
right.
Let's now connect with people. I will say this. People have, when I've wanted to quit, it's always amazing how just the right connection pops
at
up.
the right time.
Does
Yeah.
that happen
Yeah,
to you
it
too?
happens to me all the time.
It's so strange
yeah. Yeah. And it's
because
like-
I'm willing to go and discover what's next.
Exactly. Yeah. You
We don't
gotta
get
keep
stuck.
moving. Yeah. And it's okay to have a down day, or it's okay to be,
Yep.
Sometimes you have to rest. Your body will tell you sit down and rest. And then sometimes that's the best time where you can do your best thinking. Is when you're sitting down, you're resting, it's quiet, and you can really just, get in touch with yourself. And then once you identify that, now don't stay there. You got to get up and move and walk around and,
Right.
do something, start listening to something. That's what I do in the mornings. When I get up, and I used to walk my dog, but I gave it back to my daughter. So I used to get up every
Aw.
morning and walk my dog Louie every morning. And at that in the morning is when my mind is fresh, is clear. That's when I listen to things. That's when I get my ideas. I get on YouTube, I walk around the block or go to the gym, start listening to things. And that helps me keep myself motivated, because it's so easy to just fall back and say, well, I'm not going to do anything today. No, that's not an option
Right.
because I'm taking this company public. So
Girlfriend.
I got to get to work.
I'm with you, and we're cheering you on. We are
Yes,
all
yes,
cheering you on. And
yes,
anybody who's listening who
yes.
may need a mortgage loan, you anywhere in the country,
They need to
you're gonna
call
come
Miss
see
Bailey,
Tunita.
the money
You're gonna
lady.
come to me, yeah, money lady's your girl. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that you say, it's what we listen to,
Yes.
because um, what we listen to
Yeah.
is so powerful.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we as a generation right now are teaching our children to be very sloppy with the content they allow to
Yes.
come into
Coming
their
to their mind.
eyes, their
Yes.
hearts, their
Yes.
ears, like,
Yes.
because it's not curated by us. Like, social
The
media
social
decides
media.
what's on your reels and all
Exactly.
of those things. So
Yeah.
how do we this is something we've never seen in this generation
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. It's totally different. Totally
Right.
different.
And so it's
Yeah.
never been more important to take your ears back, take your
Right.
eyes back,
Yeah.
like make sure
What
that
you
you're being
put in your
very
mind. Yeah.
intentional.
Yes, absolutely. It's very important to do that. And it's hard because, again, we're busy. We're trying to, juggle things. And so if you've got kids and children, it's easy to just sit them in front of the TV or give them your phone. And my daughter does that. I mean, we can see, I'm like, okay, they know how to work the cell phone better
Right.
than I do.
They sure do.
I
They know
mean,
your
at 3 years
passcode. Yeah.
old, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
But
These little
yeah.
ones are impressive
Oh my
nowadays,
God, they
right?
are so smart. They learn so fast. They take so much in. But yeah, we do
Yeah.
have to protect that. Yeah, it's important to do it.
And
Yeah,
be responsible
exactly.
for what we hear
Yeah.
and what we subscribe to.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Good
Yeah.
grief.
Yeah.
My word. Okay, well, tell us about your books, because
Okay.
I love that you are passionate about sharing wisdom,
Yes. Yes.
and that's
Yes.
displayed in a wonderful book. So one day I'll write a book.
You should.
I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
need to
You
give me
should,
some
and
pointers.
I will help you with it.
Thank
Whenever
you.
you're ready, I'll help you do
I
it.
love that.
But yeah, the first book that I wrote, it was
And kind of like show it
Okay.
up here,
Yeah.
so everyone can
The,
see.
the first book that I wrote, this one is Cash Flow for Business Owners. And I wrote this book for business owners, people like you and I, because if you think about it, if you're a business owner and everything is hinging upon you and what you do, and you get sick and you can't work, what happens to everybody else? So this
Right.
book was designed to help business owners create a solid foundation and then start investing. So it doesn't matter what type of business you already own and operate,
Yeah.
you got to diversify and you have to have some real estate investing involved in it. So you have
Right.
to buy property. But how do you do it? What do you do? Do you go after, residential property? Do you do commercial apartments? What do you do and how do you get there? Well, the book tells you how to build your solid personal foundation, because a lot of people, and I'm in the money business, right? And I see a lot of people, they want to do things, but they're not ready.
Yeah.
Why would you start investing in a house and you don't own one yourself?
Right.
You got to invest in your own house first,
Right.
and then you start investing. So a lot of people, they watch TV and they see HGTV. Oh, I can do this, and you can, but you got to do it in order.
Yes.
Because when things
There
happen,
is an order
there is
to
an
all
order,
things.
and so this one basically tells you, fast and easy and reliable ways to invest in real estate. But first, build your personal foundation, then get your business together, then do your real estate investing, and it'll help sustain you. And I had to go back and read my own book. Because I said, okay, so sold my last property, and I said, okay, now I'm in that scenario. It's like, okay, I'm building this business that I'm taking public,
Yes.
and if something happens to me, I need to make sure that everything is solid. Okay, how do I do that? I got to build another real estate portfolio.
Yep.
So I'm in the process now, but I don't want to do what I did before.
Right.
I want to do it bigger this time. So
Yeah.
that's why we're doing the 200 units and we're doing the syndication and everything.
Yes.
But that's what this book was all about. It's just how, as a business owner, do you create cash flow so that if you get sick or can't work or something happens, things just don't fall by the wayside. All your work is just gone. So that's
love
what
it.
this one is about.
I love it. And, for our listeners, it's incredible to have the wisdom of years and
Yes.
years and years of
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
And then you've put it into a book. And that's why it's
Yes.
so
That's right.
powerful. and a tool. So how do we get that book?
So this book here, again, if you go to capitalcitymtg.com and
Okay.
then just send me an email, and then I will be happy to send it to you. But I actually have a separate website. It's missbthemoneylady.com.
Okay.
So all of the books are located on that site. It's my personal site,
Okay.
and you can actually click on it and order the book.
I love it.
So that's this one.
Cash flow for business
Yeah,
owners.
and you're right. I was talking to so many people, telling so many people, doing the same thing for so many people. I said, let me write it down.
You're the systems lady
Yeah,
now
I'm
too.
the
The
system.
money and systems
I'm
lady.
the money and the systems
I love
lady.
it though. It's powerful. And thinking about like anything you do twice.
Yeah.
Can
write
you
it
put
down.
can you put it in a training process or a
Yes,
video or
and
a text?
teach people how
Yes.
to do it, and so you don't have to keep repeating yourself. So very important. So that's what that book was all about. And then about 2 years ago, when I decided to kind of rebrand Capital City Mortgage, because we were corporate capital, and then in 2000 I changed the name to Capital City Mortgage and decided to adopt the funding your dreams. So that's where that funding your dreams came from.
I love that.
and
and
so
show it to our
and
viewers.
the funding your
wow.
dreams book is all about how do you fund your dreams. If you are dreaming of investing in real estate, how do you get access to money? Where do I go? What do I do first?
How do you start? What's the next step
What's
for me
the next step?
on this mountain that I want to
Yes.
climb? Because it's not. I'm not gonna hop high enough to get to the top immediately.
Exactly.
Like be realistic.
Exactly.
You got to
exactly.
It's just one step,
one
one little
step
rock
in the,
at a
in
time.
the process.
Yep.
So the funding your dreams, it really just teach people how to get access to lines of credit. How to get access to money and buy properties, even if you don't have good credit or
Yeah.
you don't have the money or you're not in position. So there's ways to do that.
There's it's always shocking. So it ended up being about 75 properties that I ever bought was without any of my cash.
Yes.
With
None of your own money.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
absolute like
Yeah.
people, no banks.
Yeah.
Nobody
Private
knew, right. It was
investors.
all
Yeah.
private partnerships.
Yes.
And I was in the business. I knew what I was doing.
Right.
They had cash. They loved what they did. They weren't going to come into
No.
my industry.
Exactly.
I was solving major problems for them. They were getting
Absolutely.
incredible interest rates. Heck, I had funding till
Yeah.
the cows came home.
Exactly.
And we were just having a great
Rocking
time.
and rolling.
all
Yeah.
all of it was an amazing time and journey.
Yes.
But there are creative ways
Yes.
that you can fund your dreams.
Absolutely.
And you put it into a book.
I put it into a book
Yes.
how you can do that. And you're right. One of the biggest ways is that you don't have to use your own money. There's stated income programs. So there's private capital and then there's institutional capital. You were using private capital. Institutional capital, I do both. I have access to both. But institutional capital, they have a few little rules around, what you can get. I think the loan that we're working on with you, it's a no credit check, no income, no appraisal. I mean, it's a phenomenal loan.
Close on Tuesday.
Close on Tuesday. I mean, 7 days, quick
Right.
close. So there's a lot of
Amazing deal.
Yes, a lot of products like that for the institutional investor. So if you don't know people that have money that you can go and ask, there's always a way to get access to money. You just got to know who to call.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what this book is all about.
I love
who
it.
to call, how to do it, and how to invest that money.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for everybody who's listening, make sure you get
Funding
these
your
books.
dreams.
And here's the really cool thing is that Tunita has made herself available to this sisterhood.
Absolutely.
Right? Like to be
Yes.
able to talk with her and connect with her
Yes,
and even online. So what are some of your handles online? How do they reach out to you, DM you?
The Money Lady. I am Miss B, the Money Lady, on all of my social media handles. So just
Okay.
look for that, and you'll see me. I'm there. Very
love it.
accessible.
I love it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that we asked everybody who comes on as our guest is, when everything is said and done and we've planted all these seeds, because we're
Yeah.
professional
Yeah.
farmers,
Yeah.
right? Like
Right.
as we plant all these seeds, what do you want the harvest of your life to look like? What are some of the things that at the very end,
Yeah. Yeah.
what do you want to leave behind?
Yeah. You know what? That's a very good question. And I want to leave behind that I left a legacy of people that I was able to serve. and that I was able to change their life, that I was able to help them get a new career in a field where they had unlimited income potential. So, that's what I want to be known for, is that she helped me. She said something, pointed me in the right direction, and she helped me. Yeah, I may have helped you get home. Yeah, I did that. But really, I just want people to know that, that's my heart. I just want to help you be successful.
Yeah.
And whatever that looks like for you, that's what I want to be known for.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. I obviously want to have you. This is session one, girl.
Yeah.
This is session one.
Yes,
we have so
exactly.
much more to dive into.
Yes.
As I go through your books, I'm going to have
Yes.
lots of questions, and we're going to
Yes.
share, all of this learning with our platform. But I just want to thank you and honor you
Thank you.
for
Thank
being
you.
here and
Yes.
for being committed to loving people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are. I think that's the first thing that drew me to you, is you're committed to just serving
Yeah.
and loving people
Yeah.
and doing and solving problems at the
Right.
highest level. And I love the way that you show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Well, thank you, Erica. And I love the way you show up.
Aw,
And we're going to be
good.
partners, okay?
Yes, girl.
Because
Yes.
we got the same mindset. And
I love it.
I love the opportunity. Thank you for even thinking of me and calling me.
Yes.
And, we instantly connected again. And I appreciate that.
And
I
it doesn't
appreciate
matter
the
how
support.
many years go by.
matter.
The
Yeah.
right people are always the right people.
At the right time.
At the right
they
time.
show up in the right season.
This is
Yeah.
right.
And look where we are.
Here we are.
Yes,
Yay.
yes, yes.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank
everybody,
you.
for joining
Thank
this
you.
podcast. Don't forget to connect with us,
Yes.
subscribe on YouTube,
Yes.
and share, and
Yes.
make sure that you are spreading the good news, that
Yes.
anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
You can do it.
You can do it.
And you can climb this mountain.
You can.
Let's
Yep.
go.
Let's do it. All right.
All right, girl.
All right. Awesome.